release of the new movie Home Sweet Home Alone, the 6th movie in the Home Alone franchise. Yes, they have made 6 movies in this franchise. I've decided to rank them all from worst to best, but because I liked all these movies, it's pretty much just from like my least favourite to my most favourite. And before I had this video idea, I had only seen the first 2 Home Alone movies with Kevin McAllister, played by Macaulay Culkin, and so the other 4 movies are really fresh in my mind, so they could possibly skew my ranking because they were first time watching, whereas the other 2 were repeats, and so I haven't really like had a second rewatch to solidify my opinions on them. And so that being said, my ranking may be a little controversial, but I've always had a controversial opinion on the Home Alone movies, and so please don't click off straight away when I give my ranking because it may be a little controversial, but that's what the comment section is for. So comment down below why you disagree with my ranking and what your ranking of all 6 Home Alone movies are, and I'll also share my sister's ranking of all 6 towards the end of this video because we watched them together. You may agree with her ranking more than mine. And with that long intro out of the way, let's get on with my ranking of all 6 Home Alone movies from my least favourite to my most favourite.
Orange stripe, centre pocket.
No.
Ooh, that did not sound right.
At number 6 is the 6th movie, Home Sweet Home Alone, and if you've watched my review, you know that I did like this movie, but because all of these Home Alone movies are great, this movie does come in number 6, and that's not a bad thing because I do still like it. And this movie is about Max, who is left home alone whilst the rest of his family are on holiday in Tokyo, and Max is played by Archie Yates, and he does as good of a job as he gets like in the spotlight in his screen time because this movie does focus more on the robbers, and I really like that it took a new perspective, that it did focus on a bit more of a storyline around the robbers, and I felt that they did a really good job. I liked how it made them sympathetic, and I liked the new resolution of this. There was kind of like an apology. There was just, this whole movie is based on a misunderstanding, and because it is really new, I don't want to give out spoilers just yet, but I just liked how this had a new resolution compared to all the other movies, and so I did like this, but not as much as I liked the other ones, and that's why it's only in 6th.
You!
Hello, Marv.
What? Long time no see. Huh, kid?
Is that the prince?
No, that's Kevin. Kevin, Vera, Vera, Kevin.
At number 5 is Home Alone 4, and this movie is kind of a little special one because I'm confused whether it's like a sequel or a remake because all the characters have the same name. So is it a continuation? Because Kevin, he knows that one of the robbers is Marv, and he says that, oh yeah, I've already had to deal with these people. So it's like the same characters but different actors, and so it's just a little confusing with me. But I really like this movie because it was like a really interesting movie. This movie had like multiple storylines, it had multiple like character arcs, it had multiple like heartfelt moments, it had a twist. You really thought the butler was going to be the bad guy, but it turns out it's the maid. The maid is Marv's mum, and it was really funny, but then at times it just felt so exaggerated. The kid in this, his acting was so exaggerated, and I don't know why, but it was also like the robbers, like the older actors, they seemed like really exaggerated. But there was like a heartfelt moment where the kid's like, who wants a sports card when there's no room in it for your family? And I just felt like that was really like cute and heartfelt. Like the dad, because the parents were separated, and so the dad went to like all the rich stuff, like all the rich side, but he lost out on his family. So he had valuables, but he didn't have the value, the family values. Don't know where I'm going with that. But yeah, I did really like this movie, but there are better ones.
Heads up! Don't worry, Marv, I'll get him for you.
And at number 4, here's where the controversial opinions start, is the first Home Alone movie, the original, the classic, the one that started it all. And I originally had an opinion where I didn't like the Home Alone movies. I had only ever seen the first 2, and I would like to just skip them every Christmas when like the family would watch them because I just thought they're not good movies, I don't like them. But I did watch them this year. I have like a new appreciation for this movie. I felt Kevin was so annoying, but then like watching him set up these traps, like he's such a smart kid. And honestly, I don't know how old he is he like 8 or something? I would never be able to survive Home Alone. I'm 20 now and I still can't survive Home Alone. I never want to be home alone, but he just manages to ward off robbers. Yes, it's brutal, like the traps are brutal, it's funny. The actors who play the robbers, they're funny, and it's just really good, it's really clever. I like the traps where he like moves mannequins, like that's just really smart, and it seems like it's people. But yeah, I liked the other movies more than I liked the original. Before I give up my top 3, if you're still here that is, if you like this video, please leave it a like and subscribe for more. I'll have other like Christmas content coming out in December, and if they decide to release any other Christmas movies in November. And yes, comment down below your ranking, because I'm pretty sure you probably put number 1 in number 1. I might have like something that will surprise you in the rest of my ranking, but on with the rest of my ranking now.
Got him, Doris. Got him. Yes, 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 yes. You are so busted. Ah!
And in at number 3 is number 3, Home Alone 3. And honestly, I don't know if this is considered like a classic with the other two. I feel like out of all 6, this one is probably like leaning closer to like being like grouped in like that trilogy kind of. I really like this movie. It was the first time I've seen it, and for a long time it had always been my sister's favourite, but then out of nowhere she was like, oh, actually this isn't as good as I remember it. But because it was my first time watching it, I really liked it. The boy in it, oh my god, he makes my heart melt just thinking about him. He's so like heartwarming, he's so charming, and I just really liked him. And as a bonus, it has a young Scarlett Johansson in it, and honestly, she just seems so young even though this film isn't that old. And this movie is from 1997, but she just seems so young compared to like how old she is now. The 2 original movies just takes on where he's trying to like fight off these robbers who try and like rob a house, but in this one it kind of like has a more like special story, like a more thing. He gets given a toy which has like a secret chip in it or something that has like a lot of data to do with like the government or something, and so there's a set of spies come into like invade his house to try and retrieve that chip. And so it's multiple people, it's not just 2, I think it's 4 robbers trying to rob this house, and he's like a kid. I think he's the youngest kid in this. He literally looks about 5, but yeah, he's just so heartwarming and so loving, and he cares so much for his neighbor, and just I really like this movie.
Thieves are attacking my house. I'm under siege.
What game are you talking about?
They're almost here. How do I stop them from getting in?
At number 2 is movie 5, Home Alone 5, The Holiday Heist. And if I felt the third one had like a special storyline to it, this one is even more special. It's not just a bunch of robbers trying to rob a house, it's a heist. They're trying to retrieve an old painting that one of the robbers is like grandmother is in the painting, and it's like his parents are in it as well as kids. And so there was like a personal connection to this house, why they're robbing it. And it wasn't just a kid who was left home alone, it was a boy left home alone and his sister left home alone, but she is kind of irrelevant because she is trapped in the basement for pretty much the whole movie. But I really liked the traps set in this because they were really like special and unique, and there was just a really funny part where he's like talking to a guy online, and then like the guy rings up the parents, they're just like, your daughter's trapped in the basement, and the mum just freaks out like, you got my daughter trapped in the basement, who are you? And just, it's really funny. And some of like the traps set in this kind of also play a role in the 6th movie, like it's the same idea, and so I really liked that. But I did really like this movie also.
Hiya, pal.
For some reason just has always been my favourite out of the 2 originals, and that is the 2nd Home Alone movie, Lost in New York. And the only reason I like this movie is the scene with Donald Trump where he's talking to Kevin and he's in like the lobby like, oh, it's over there. And yes, that's sarcastic because they cut it out. I don't really know the logic behind it, I don't know the reasoning, I don't know the knowledge. When I was rewatching it on Disney Plus, they didn't have that scene in it. But yeah, I do really just like this movie, and I can't really pinpoint why I like it. There is one scene where he retrieves like 2 turtle doves from like the toy store, and so the bird lady, the crazy bird lady, who actually does kind of still give me the heebie-jeebies, he gives her one of the things, and it's to represent like they'll be friends forever. And I just thought that was really heartwarming and really endearing. And the trap set in this, because it is like his uncle's or something house which is being like renovated, and so it's pretty much a very worn down broken house, and he sets like really elaborate traps for Marv and Harry because they're back at it again. And I just really like the elaborateness of the traps in this were much better than the first one, and I thought it was really nice, and it's really cute, and it's really sweet, and Kevin, great as ever. And it's just really funny, like if I was left like home alone in New York because he catches the wrong flight to the rest of his family, I would spend a lot of money on my dad's credit card as well if I'm trapped in a hotel room. Home Alone 2 Lost in New York just kind of has a certain charm, and I don't really know why I like this movie as much as I do. To put it number 1, but yes, Home Alone 2 is my favourite movie out of all 6 Home Alone movies. And now, like I said, my sister's ranking from her least favourite to her most favourite is, in number 6 is number 4, then 2, then 5, then 3, then 6, then number 1, the original. And so there you go. You may agree more with her ranking. Let me know in the comment if you agree more with my ranking or with my sister's ranking, or if we're both just completely wrong. I was surprised to see that she put number 6 in number 2 in her second most favourite Home Alone movie. And like I said, I do have a full review with some more of my in-depth thoughts on the 6th Home Alone movie, the new one released in 2021, Home Sweet Home Alone, so you can check that out as well. But that's it for my ranking of all 6 Home Alone movies. I liked all of them, and so one day I might just want to watch the 4th one or want to watch the 5th one, because I think they're all great. If you like this video, please leave it a like and subscribe for more. I'll have more Christmas content coming in December, maybe even November if they decide to release more movies. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye!